Welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome Patrick Zanella, the Cybersecurity Director for C1, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. Patrick is the head of cybersecurity for the U.S. Field Sales Team. He has more than 20 years of experience in several areas of IT and communications, including production services, InfoSec, technical support, program project management, and IT security. He has held management positions at Integration Partners, Zensar Technologies, Enterasys Networks, and SunGuard Availability Services. He has frequently served as an industry spokesperson and provided numerous media interviews. Patrick, you made it! You're on the Top Gun Show!
I'm welcome. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Nice to have you on. C1 is a great sponsor that we're learning so much this month. But today, we get to dive into security. How is C1 helping organizations today stay secure and be safer at a time when cyber attacks are on the rise and attackers are even using AI to up their game?
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me. I love the show, by the way, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to your followers, and thank you for the question. So absolutely. So cyber attacks are nothing new. However, what's been evolving with cyber attackers has been the advent and usage of AI, generative AI, and other types of AI capabilities. The goal really of the attackers is to essentially get the recipient of their email, phone call, communication to do something that they otherwise wouldn't normally do, also called social engineering. So from that perspective, the recipient or the targeted organization needs to really understand and be able to detect those type of nefarious activities across the board, not just on IT or systems or applications, but also with their call centers as well. Voice types of attacks are on the rise, and hence by bad guys using AI, they're essentially being able to write better emails, better targeted text messages, and even better phone calls. Because now bad guys using AI can essentially record other people's voices and use those voices to call into things like call centers, contact centers, to try and get the other person on the phone to try to do things like change passwords, grant them access to environments they otherwise wouldn't have access to, or do other things that would tip them off as far as trying to get unauthorized access into their environment. So it's critical organizations be mindful of this and follow what we at C1 recommend is a prevent, detect, and recover approach. You want to prevent the attacks from happening, be able to detect when they happen, and recover from when they exactly happen in your environment. So from a PDR perspective, or prevent, detect, recover, that's how we help organizations be able to do and be more secure.
Well, that was a great answer. I mean, it's no wonder that you're an industry spokesperson and you've done media interviews. You're very articulate and very clear about a complex subject matter. Well done. I like that answer. We know that no defensive strategy is foolproof because attackers are always looking for new strategies. And like you said, AI kind of really opens the door for those. How do you help clients respond to a successful attack?
So a great question. So since these attacks are happening all the time, and as the old saying holds, right? Good guys have to be right all the time or every time. Bad guys only have to get in right once. So what we try to do and offer to our customers is around education, the value of what they need to protect. A lot of organizations, a good number of them, are using security technologies from dozens of dissimilar technologies. So they lack in the ability of an integrated, automated, and orchestrated response and detection to those threats. So what we at C1 do is sit down with our customers for the first time and understand, how do things work today? For example, explain to me how you would identify nefarious activity in your environment, or describe for me how you would stop that from happening. So our goal, as a former CISO myself, there were two objectives I had every day and all day. And it was first off, trying to identify nefarious activity as soon as possible. And secondly, try to stop it from doing any damage also as soon as possible. So those two generic macro level goals should be driving every type of defensive mechanism within an organization. So in order for a prevent, detect, and recover approach, we help customers identify their technology profile from a security perspective and determine what you have installed, is it going to really work? And we do this through our testing capabilities and advisory and assessment services. So our goal is to really put their people, process, and technology essentially through its paces, because we know the bad actors are going to do this every day, all day. And us as good guys want to make sure we can protect against those types of attacks. So essentially, we sit and understand our customers, and really it's a journey. There's really no, as you asked, no foolproof technology that we can essentially plug in, call it a day, high five, and we're done. Bad actors evolve. They continue to hone their craft. And we as good guys are trying to keep pace as best we can. So as good guys, we try to identify those types of attacks and identify those areas of vectors of attacks and help our customers recover from those should one be successful.
That's good stuff. But it makes me wonder, this whole AI thing. And you mentioned that the bad guys are using AI to up their threat game, and you're using AI for defense. I mean, does it boil down to whose AI is bigger than the other AI? Like, they're going to battle it out. I mean, how does AI get in the door, and how does AI not let him in the door?
That's a great question. So it kind of is a battle of AIs, right? So from our perspective, we have to understand and assume and expect our adversaries to use AI, both voice, video, and also through other means. And we use AI as good guys to really help identify as quickly as possible nefarious activity. Again, that first goal I mentioned before. So you can do that because unfortunately, the sheer volume of these types of attacks, Steve, we're not going to human our way out of this. That is a realization that I think organizations are finally coming to. And with the advent of AI, from a good guy perspective, we're able to essentially help the good guys by finding the needle in the stack of needles. And that's really the only benefit of using AI and having the ability to sift through the data. It's like have you ever seen the Terminator movie? Like AI, it doesn't sleep. It doesn't feel remorse. It continues to learn and evolve. And so as good guys, we use that as a way to identify nefarious activity. Because if you look at it on average, most organizations don't detect nefarious activity for days, weeks, or even months. So by using AI as we do, we're able to shrink the amount of time it takes to determine and find nefarious activity and stop it from doing any damage as quickly as possible.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, Patrick, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun Show, and I know there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. Why don't you tell the viewers, if you could meet anybody, dead or alive, who would you want to meet, and what would you ask him or her?
I would have to say, might be a little obscure answer, would be my favorite musician, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
And what would you ask him?
I would ask him, how did he get into music and how did he get so good? I think I know the answer. It's through preparation and practice. He was a consummate preparer and always practiced on his guitar when he was younger. But I really would like to ask him those questions. That would be the person I would like to ask.
That's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. I didn't know if it was going to be a security answer or what, but that was good. That was good. Well, hey, Patrick, I know you're a busy guy. You're doing great things at C1. The whole organization's doing well. C1 is now a household name because this is the fourth and final interview. Thank you so much for carving out time out of your busy schedule to be on the Top Gun Show. I really appreciate it.
Likewise, Steve. Have a great day. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Take care.